Arcade Heroes.
Hey everyone, this is Adam at Arcade Heroes, here with a vlog, something that I haven't done in a little bit. I've done some live streams, which I guess are kind of close, but more referring to news-based vlogs. Of course, I'm always blogging over at arcadeheroes.com, so if you haven't caught those, make sure to check the site out. You can subscribe for email updates, and so that when I do post something, you can know about it through email, or of course there's Arcade Heroes on social media. I won't go through all the normal like and subscribe begging and all that stuff that most do on YouTube. But before I got to the news that this video is mainly about, I did want to give a shout out to all of you subscribers that have followed Arcade Heroes over the years, as we just passed 9,000. And so it's over 9,000 meme, yay! And so soon should be to 10,000, where I'll have to do something special for that. And as I posted on YouTube, on the YouTube community part, I have been thinking about doing some membership-based things, and so there could be some special videos for members who want to subscribe and help support what I do on both the channel as well as the website and all of that. But either way, your support is appreciated, so thanks. And also I should mention, I did hear you. I know a lot of my videos where it's like me in my arcade like this are very dark because I haven't had a light, so have a light now. I also have a lapel microphone that plugs into my camera here, because the camera, while it's a nice 4K camera, in an arcade environment, it often picks up way too much noise from all the games, and so this hopefully should have my voice sounding better. Anyways, so the point of this video today is to talk about Minecraft Dungeons Arcade. Now, this is a game that I have discussed on the blog a few times and on social media. It was initially unveiled back at the beginning of March, where it's thanks to that I my first reaction to seeing that was, I thought this must be an April Fool's joke or something, but it's like, okay, this is like March 3rd, so Raw Thrills doesn't really do April Fool's jokes, and it's way too early for that. But that was my initial reaction when I heard that there was a Minecraft arcade. As you know, this is obviously one of the biggest games that's ever been released. If any of you have kids, then it's very likely that they are really into it. I have 3 kids, and they all love it, ages 5 through 15, and they are often playing it. And so, and my son in particular, he's into the modding scene, playing on different servers and all that, and he even has a YouTube channel where he often posts Minecraft related stuff. And so yeah, it's just a huge IP, but of course the base game, Minecraft, is a little difficult to translate into a fast action, quick-paced arcade game. And so fortunately, with the existence of Minecraft Dungeons, which I haven't played it still, my son has it, and I just haven't had time to sit down on his PC and play that yet. But from my understanding, it's kind of like Diablo 2 meets Minecraft aesthetic. I might be wrong on that, but at least from what I've seen of the game, that's kind of what it feels like. But Play Mechanix, who is run by George Petro, and the company is actually owned by Raw Thrills, which is the CEO of Raw Thrills is Eugene Jarvis, whom I've spoken with on this channel before, and I do hope to speak with him again this month, June 2021. Not about Minecraft specifically, but more about the Cruisin' series that he's responsible for. And George has been seen on a number of Midway documentaries, as he was there in the Midway days, involved with plenty of stuff, And I believe from the NBA Jam book, it talks about how George is the one who gave Mark Turmell the idea to do NBA Jam, or at least planted that seed there after Total Carnage had been kind of a flop on the market. But anyways, George and many others from Midway are still involved in the arcade industry through Raw Thrills, through Mechanix. And Mechanix, you've probably seen their logo over the years. One of the more recent games that they did was Nitro Trucks, which is one of the few non-licensed games that they've done, one of the few pure originals. A lot of their stuff has been licensed, and of course the most famous one in recent times has been Halo Fireteam Raven. But they also did Terminator Salvation, they did Aliens Armageddon, they did Aliens Extermination as well, and MotoGP, and a bunch of other games. But of course those are released through the Raw Thrills label as well. And, or actually I should mention The Walking Dead, which is sitting right here on the other side of the camera from me, which they primarily developed. But so Minecraft Dungeons Arcade is their latest creation. And the game designer behind this is Will Carlin, whose name has been seen on a bunch of Mechanix titles, including Big Buck Hunter. He's been one of the primary individuals responsible for developing the Big Buck series, which is also just a huge name out there still. And so after Mechanix worked with Microsoft on Halo Fireteam Raven, they wanted to tackle another huge IP that Microsoft owns, and what better IP to get at than Minecraft. And so fortunately, the way that Minecraft Dungeons works is a lot easier to translate into an arcade game than the base Minecraft game itself. Of course, I believe there are mini games built into servers and whatnot that may be a little bit more arcade-like in nature, but even then, first-person games have never done particularly well in the business. Now, personally, I believe that there are ways to do it, but it can't be done in the precise way that you would expect to get on your consoles or your PC. It'd have to be adapted in a certain way, but still, it's a bit tough to do. And so Minecraft Dungeons presented a way to bring this huge IP into arcades, but in a format that's going to work out well. Now today, there was the official trailer for Minecraft Dungeons Arcade launched, and so I kind of wanted to talk about that. I've already seen this. I don't like reaction videos, and so that's not what I'm going to do, but I'll just play this and add some commentary on it, I suppose. And so let's do that. Okay, so I'll put it up here, and let me record it first. So yeah, everybody knows that this is one of the biggest games of all time, and one thing Raw Thrill or Mechanix has liked to do is show off what games that they've, or the more recent big name games that they've done, like the Halo there. But yeah, as you can see from this is the first real direct capture gameplay footage we've seen of this game since it was announced. There have been videos since. This game is out there at Game Clusters right now. There have been a number of YouTubers who have already gotten to film that off screen, but this gives us some quick glimpses as to the gameplay. And this is the big thing for it, are the cards. And so you get a free card with every play. There's 60 of them. There will be more. They always launch Series 1, which is the first batch, and then Series 2, which is more, and have deeper rarity. There'll be big boss battles, although one thing I noticed from watching this earlier, it was more just showing off the bosses instead of battles themselves. And I think that's the last boss right there. And that's the game cabinet and some other things about that. Promotional banner included, which this is a trailer, not exactly for players. This is for people like me who own an arcade, and so that's why it says things like, you know, promotional banner included. That's not for the gamers. It's just to let you know that a location has it. Here's all the studio things, and I think after this it says contact your distributor today, which of course is something for somebody like me and not so much the game players. But still, this allows you to get a good idea of how this plays. So let me play this again or cut it into the parts that are pertinent to the gameplay and repeat that as I discuss that, so I'm not rushing through it all. But this is presenting a style of game that we just don't see too often in the arcade business, and so it's always refreshing to see that coming back. And that, of course, is like the hack and slash action adventure RPG style game. And as mentioned, the home console version plays a lot like Diablo, by my understanding, and if I'm wrong on that, my apologies. But just from what I've seen, it seems kind of like that, or Torchlight, something like that, which of course is a Diablo-like as well. But the camera movement and how it has to handle players, since you can have 4 on one screen at the same time, it's like more local co-op play instead of online play, where everybody has their own screen to work off of, creates a different dynamic. And in a way, that makes this version unique. So even though it's Minecraft Dungeons and it's based upon the same game that's out there, it's going to play different enough that I think it's safe to call it an arcade exclusive, a variation exclusive of a sort, and that's beyond just how the cards work. Because as I watch these clips of how it works, whether from this trailer or from clips of it being played at Dave & Buster's, it seems more like a Golden Axe 3D. I know there was a 3D Golden Axe remake some years ago, but and I never played that one either. But it does seem to have that element, because it's going from one area to the other, and you attack and kill all the enemies there and then move on to the next scene. It does seem to have some dynamic events as well, such as hopping down those platforms or using the mine carts, and I've seen something of standing on little icebergs of each player standing on them. And so it looks like they've adapted this in a way to take advantage of what the arcade format offers, and that's always welcome. It also mentioned in there how it has 100 minutes worth of gameplay. Now, that might sound odd, but that would be like from a start to finish perspective, and whether or not it'll have replay value, we'll have to wait and see. But I would assume that there would be some replay value there beyond just being able to obtain high scores, as it does have a leaderboard, as well as collecting the cards. And I know that the card collection has worked out really well in pushing replay on Injustice, and so it seems to have all those workings there, the makings of a game that should do really well. So that's the trailer for Minecraft Dungeons Arcade, and as it said there at the end, contact your distributor. And actually my distributor that I ordered my copy of this game from contacted me today, because they were looking to get some more cards my way. As according to the Rothreels website, this comes with 2,800 cards, so 700 per player. There's 4 card dispensers, and since it's a 4-player game, that's where the math should work out there. But they were suggesting that I get additional card boxes. Each box comes with 700, and so I decided to go ahead and do that, because from the sounds of it, it's going to be a little hard to get your hands on these cards if you're somebody like me, a location, and of course it'll suck if you run out of cards to offer to your players, and so you want to keep those stocked. But this isn't the first game that Rothreels has done with cards. Actually, the very first time they experimented with the idea that I'm aware of was with the prototype for Cruise and Blast, and this was like back in 2016, I think maybe even 2015, when it was called Cruise and Adventure. And the very first models did have a card dispenser and a card reader on them, but for whatever reason they decided to junk that and released the game without that. I guess they were giving hints, oh, we might add it later, but we're 5 years later and it's not come around, so that probably won't be coming around unless they do another cruising and add that onto it. And if they do that, I'll have to ask Eugene Jarvis about that when I talk to him soon, and find out if they would offer an update kit so you can just switch out existing cabinets, which would be really nice. Anyways, so they first released this with Injustice Arcade, and then there is a Dave & Buster's exclusive game, the Marvel Contest of Champions, I think it's called, which is like Injustice, but slightly better since it has a joystick, and so you get a little better control over what's going on as opposed to the more mobile style of gameplay that Injustice offered. But both of those games offer cards. And with Injustice, Raw Thrills has reached up to Series 3 cards, and though of course the Series 3 I think are among the rarest, or have some of the rarest cards among them, and there is quite a collector's scene by my understanding for people to collect and resell those cards and whatnot. And so given that this is Minecraft and Minecraft products out there, it's the whole merchandising thing. It's going to be huge for sure. But yeah, that's the trailer. And in addition to my distributor contacting me today, I asked them, when is this going to arrive? Because originally they were saying by the end of June. They were hoping maybe by the third week of June. They said something maybe between the 18th through the 21st, but it's really hard to say because there's a lot of factors in play that could cause a delay to happen. But I'm hopeful that it won't be at the very end of June, because that's when Amusement Expo is. And of course, it would be nice, given that Dave & Buster's already has them out there, it'd be nice for us at small locations, independent locations, to be able to get our hands on this sooner rather than later. But personally, I do believe that this will be a big game, a big earning game. Raw Thrills has often provided me with some of my best earning titles. I mean, right now, Jurassic Park Arcade is my #1 game across both locations. And that game was released at the beginning of 2015, and it's still doing extremely well. And so for somebody like me who's trying to make a living off of running an arcade, that's the kind of thing you need to stay in business, and more so right now after we're crawling out of the pandemic, where we need things that bring people to the arcade. Now, of course, for a lot of operators that is ticket redemption stuff. I'll use a nice word instead. But, like, I don't do ticket redemption, and that shocks a lot of people that I talk with in the business. But it's just, I've never liked it, never enjoyed it. But of course, I can't ignore the fact that it does make a ton of money. Big Bass Will, which has been around for well over a decade, still posts crazy earnings. Like, I've seen family entertainment centers, not necessarily Dave & Buster's, but earnings reports from these big, giant places that have big arcades with lots of redemption, but they also have other attractions, maybe like bowling or indoor roller coasters or bumper cars and laser tag, etc., etc. And when you see earnings reports from those, Big Bass Will is still making like $2,000 a week. It's just freaking crazy. It's not almost a game in that it's just shove the thing down. It's the Price is Right game. I forget what the Price is Right name is on that one, but still, it's just crazy to me that people will play these super short games over video games. But I'm a gamer at heart, always have been. And so that's one reason why I guess I just not really been drawn to redemption. But in my situation, when you don't really have redemption, people will play the video games, and they will do fine. And so, yeah, it can work. And I guess in a way, Minecraft Dungeons Arcade is kind of a redemption game since it is vending the cards. But to me, it's preferable. I don't have to stock a bunch of overpriced prizes here behind me and start doing that to operate it. The players just get the cards straight from the machine, and then they can keep them or resell them or throw them away if they want, whatever. And so yeah, it should be interesting to see, because I've never had one of these card games before. And of course, these card vending titles, as they're called, they've been very popular in Japan for years, and so this has just been a way to bring them here. So yeah, that's Minecraft Dungeons Arcade. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it and what you hope comes from this. It's hard to say what the next big license will be from either Raw Thrills or Sega or Bandai Namco and whatnot. At the end of June, though, we will have Amusement Expo, which will be the first trade show that the U.S. side of the industry has seen since the last Amusement Expo in March 2020. And so it should be interesting to see if there's any other new revelations there. I'm not sure from any of the major manufacturers if they will mention anything, but I do know that Exa Arcadia will be there. That's, of course, a company that I've mentioned a bunch of times on the channel, and they're going to have a big rollout and a nice booth there with plenty of games and some new stuff there as well. And so, yeah, it should be exciting. So stay tuned to this channel for more of that, and also possibly some new member-only videos that I hope to pack with some interesting content. And so thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.